In this lesson, we'll learn how to place openings into our model. Doors were easy. Openings are just as easy, but not as straightforward. Openings are considered to be generic models within Revit. As a matter of fact, up until Revit 2013, openings were grouped with doors, adding confusion when someone clicked the door button and Revit wouldn't allow that person to insert an opening. That person was me. The objective of this lesson is to add a corridor wall in the west wing and place an elliptical opening within the wall. Open the file you've been working on or open the file called Chapter 3 and follow along. What I'm going to show you is an example of what we're going to put in. It's a nice little wall that's joined to the adjacent walls, and we have an elliptical opening. It's getting pretty fancy, I know. This is what we're going to do in this lesson. The first thing we need to do is place a wall to host a door into. We know darn well that Revit's not going to let us put a door in there unless we have the wall in first. On the Architecture tab, click the Wall button. Let's make sure our wall is basic wall, interior 6 1/8 inch partition, 2 hour. Zoom in on the corner of this wall and pick the point. For once, the wall's in the correct orientation. Scroll out and draw this wall all the way down to this point here. Once the wall's in, hit escape a couple times. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place a component. On the Architecture tab, click the Component button. We don't want to put a desk in our wall, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on Load Family. We're going to scroll down until we find Openings. Double click on Openings. There's a few openings in here, but what I want to do is grab the bottom one. Passage Opening, Elliptical Arc. Click Open. Now what I want to do is I want to find the center of this wall, and I want to place the door in it. You can see that Revit is going to snap us right to the center, but if it's not, remember you can type SM and force it to the center. Pick the inside of the wall and hit escape. This is a pretty small door. The next trick is to create another type of door. We've learned that there's several different types for other doors. This one we're going to actually make a different type. Click on the Edit Type button. Now that we're in the Edit Type properties, let's click the Duplicate button. This door wants to be 84 inches by 84 inches. We can get rid of the 2. Hit OK. For the width, let's type in 84 inches and hit Enter. Hit OK. Now we have a nice wide opening. Click on the default 3D view in the Quick Access toolbar. Hold down the Shift button and the Wheel button on your mouse and notice that you can scroll around. If you hover over the opening, you can select it. Select the opening, hold the Shift button, hold the Wheel button on your mouse, and notice that now when we zoom around, we're kind of rotating it upon the door. The door is the focal point. Next thing I want you to do is let's make sure we're back in Level 1 floor plan. Hit escape a couple times, type ZA, and click the Save button. We're getting pretty fancy here. It's good to know how Revit looks at openings. This is simply another type of family that can be hosted to a wall, but it's really cool to know how to make another type of a family.